Hi and welcome to a new episode of Z-Zone. This time we have concept albums, a journey through vision, myth and madness. And we start off with a streetwise young man suddenly finds himself trapped inside a surreal and symbolic version of New York City, where reality bends into nightmare and revelation. We have The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. A nice foldback album as well. An astonishing fusion of surreal storytelling and progressive experimentation, dark, intellectual, and emotionally hypnotic. This album feels like wandering through a dream you cannot escape, yet never wish to leave. Thanks to my older cousin Tommy, who introduced me to Genesis and the world of Genesis, while I still was in my world of Kiss, I found this album and I have listened to it since and got probably all the albums from the 70s. And I especially like the guitar playing of Steve Hackett. His sound is amazing. So, Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. 3 picks. We have The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, The Carpet Crawlers, Back in New York City. Disguised as a satirical newspaper supposedly written by a child prodigy, this legendary work cleverly mocks the excesses of progressive rock while simultaneously becoming one of its greatest achievements. We have Thick as a Brick from 1972. And check it out. Isn't it neat? A newspaper, as it should be. And you can read all about it. Extra. It's just unbelievable, brilliant done. For those of you who remembers newspapers, I think this is great. A brilliant contradiction, a parody that evolved into progressive rock perfection, sophisticated, theatrical, and endlessly inventive. We have Thick as a Brick. Ian Anderson, absolutely astonishing songwriter. So, thank you. 3 picks. Well, you can't pick anyone because it consists of only one song. Side 1 and side 2. One song. That's it. Inside a decaying aristocratic mansion shortly after the First World War, a family gathers for the reading of a patriarch's final testament. Yet beneath the formalities lurk devastating secrets involving betrayal, illness, manipulation, and hidden guilt. We have The Last Will and Testament by Opeth. Is it possible inspired by the TV series Succession? I don't know. What comes with the album is the actual testament. So you can read the whole thing and make up your own mind of what's happening. I think it's pretty cool. And we have 3 picks. We have Paragraph 1, Paragraph 4, A Story Never Told. A young boy is chosen by a mysterious council known as the Elder to undertake a heroic quest against darkness. Along his journey, he faces moral trials, temptation, and fear while slowly learning the true meaning of courage and responsibility. We have Music from the Elder by Kiss from 1981. A misunderstood masterpiece. Beneath its fantasy themes lies an emotional story about maturity, sacrifice, and inner strength. Interesting fact. The album was produced by Bob Ezrin, who is one of my absolute favorite producers ever. Produced The Wall by Pink Floyd, Destroyer by Kiss, some Alice Cooper albums. And another interesting fact is that A World Without Heroes was co-written by Lou Reed. And, you know, the hand belongs to Paul Stanley. So, 3 picks. The Oath, I, A World Without Heroes. This grand metal opera chronicles the life and visions of legendary prophet Michael de Nostradam. As his apocalyptic prophecies intensify, he becomes increasingly isolated by the terrifying burden of foresight. We have Nostradamus by Judas Priest from 2008. It's very hard to get the LP album, and it's very, very rare. So this CD, I think, is exclusive enough, and it's really nice as a booklet. The whole story is inside. So this is really what I think a CD should look like. And about the album as well, it's epic, operatic, and grandiose. Judas Priest crafted a metal prophecy filled with atmosphere, theatrical power, and overwhelming apocalyptic beauty. And 3 picks: Prophecy, Nostradamus, Persecution. In a dystopian future ruled by authoritarian priests, individuality and creativity have been erased from society. Everything changes when a young man discovers an ancient guitar, a forgotten symbol of artistic freedom. We have Rush 2112, a visionary science fiction epic where music itself becomes rebellion, intelligent, emotional, and musically explosive from beginning to end. 3 picks: 2112 Overture, Temples of Syrinx, A Passage to Bangkok, Lessons. Nicky, a recovering addict, is manipulated into becoming an assassin for a secret political organization led by the mysterious Dr. X. As the violence escalates, Nicky's morality and sanity slowly begin to collapse. Yet, beneath the surface narrative lies something far more complex. The story operates on several levels simultaneously: political corruption, religious hypocrisy, addiction, media manipulation, and the frightening ease with which vulnerable individuals can be psychologically controlled. When reading between the lines, Operation Mindcrime becomes less a story about one man and more a chilling commentary on society itself. We have Operation Mindcraft by Queensryche from 1988. A breathtaking fusion of political thriller and psychological drama. Sharp, cinematic, and emotionally devastating. One of heavy metal's greatest narrative achievements. The president of the Swedish fan club, as well as my dear friend Patrik Wikström, he told me a story about this album, and he was in the studio when they were doing the final mix. And he told me that Chris DeGarmo needed one more song. So the last song he wrote to this album was The Mission. So that's quite a nice, interesting story to know. And 3 picks: Speak, The Needle Eyes of a Stranger. A child born with prophetic powers struggles beneath the unbearable weight of destiny. Feared and admired in equal measure. He must decide whether to interfere with fate or simply observe humanity's inevitable path. We have seventh son of a seventh son, Iron Maiden. Last studio record to feature the Peace of Mind lineup until 2000 album Brave New World. Adrian Smith left the band 1990, and this kind of sums up the whole 1980s era, and then it got something completely different. So this is the end of the 80s era. A beautifully disturbing gothic horror opera filled with tragedy, dark fantasy and macabre theatrical brilliance. Sinister, yet strangely emotional. In 18th century Budapest, a tragic fate of a young couple who attend a mesmerizing Christmas puppet show, only to fall victim to the diabolical puppet master and his grotesque wife, Emerencia. King Diamond, the Puppet Master. What makes the DVD especially compelling is the manner in which King Diamond narrates the events. His voice moves between storyteller, actor and sinister witness, drawing the listener deeper into the tragedy surrounding the mysterious Puppet Master and the doomed lovers trapped within Puppet Master's horrifying world. The narration expands upon the album's lyrical themes and provides additional emotional depth that is only hinted within the songs themselves. We have 3 picks: The Puppet Master, The Ritual, Blood to Walk. King Diamond. Traumatized by loss, abuse and emotional isolation, a famous rock star named Pink slowly constructs a metaphorical wall around himself to escape pain and human connection. As the wall grows taller, his mental state deteriorates into paranoia, delusion and emotional collapse. The album ultimately becomes a powerful meditation on grief, identity, and the destructive nature of isolation. Pink Floyd, The Wall, from 1979. Produced by Bob Ezrin, one of my favorite producers that you know by now. David Gilmour plays fantastic guitar. And this album means a lot to me. It's by far the #1 album in terms of listenings. So what happened? How did I find out about this album? So in the 6th grade in school, we had a teacher, a help teacher. She came, she played us this album. And before she played it, she handed out pens and pencils in different colors. And then she said, I'm going to put this album on. And while you're listening, I want you to paint whatever you feel when you listen to this song, to all the songs, to the album. So when all that was done and all the drawings were put together, she put them on the wall outside the classroom. Isn't that beautiful? It's something unbelievable. I don't know how she came up with the idea, but when I got home, I asked my mom to buy this album, and she did, and I've listened to it so many times. And of course, 3 picks is gonna be Comfortably Numb, David Gilmour. I've played that guitar solo over and over again, so many times. In the Flesh and Hey You.